Missionaries do this all the time. You do not have a monopoly on this. Every day, Tovia is the worst person in the world. Fine. That doesn't make Jesus the Messiah. Look, I'm the worst person in the world. That doesn't mean that Christianity is true. Citing Isaiah 7:14 is advertising that the religion that you subscribe to, it's sophistry.
Let's move into the next caller. Israel, you should be live. Go right ahead with your question.
Hello, Tovia. How are you today?
I'm doing good. We're living in a challenging time, but I'm, overall doing all right.
Okay. Okay. Are you in Jerusalem?
Yes.
Okay. Do they have connect the dots in Jerusalem, like the connect the dot puzzles?
I don't know what that is.
Okay, all right. So connect the dots is like they have a bunch of dots on paper, and then it's like they're numbered, like 1, 2, 3, 4, all the way up, and then you have to connect 1 with 2, and 2 with 3, and 3 with 4, and then it makes a picture. Okay, so I've asked this question twice now, I believe, on this program, and I've been watching you guys for a long time. I enjoy your guys' show. I enjoy you both. Here's my question, though, and we got to stay focused, Tovia, because we can't just get off on these little sidetracks because it's not going to help. But let's connect the dot. 1, okay? Isaiah 7:14 says, a virgin. And I'm not worried about the virgin dot. I could care less about the virgin dot, okay? We're not trying to connect that one, okay? It says a virgin will have a son and name him Emmanuel. Okay.
How do you know it says that?
This is in the book of Isaiah, the same guy that prophesied about King Cyrus appearing. And everyone knows King Cyrus
appeared. Is it really in the book of Isaiah?
Isaiah 7:14, where it says a virgin will bear a son. I mean, whether or not it's a virgin, I'm not worried about that. But name him Emmanuel.
If you're not worried, why do you keep repeating him? And if it doesn't say a virgin, that's really important.
Yeah.
There's a big
difference. Okay, but that's not important for this. Okay.
Then why raise it? I'm not trying to be argumentative. I'm just you're stating something that just isn't there, doesn't say it, which places to question the credibility of the author of the book of Matthew. And you make the statement, which is a fantastic claim, and then and you're saying these claims can't be questioned. I would just say then you really have to rethink whatever it is this dot thing is. If your first most fundamental statement is completely, don't be offended, I don't mean it, but I don't know you, fatuous, without merit, it just isn't there, then whatever you're building is going to collapse if you have no foundation.
Okay, are you ready? Okay, so this lady, you say it's Betula or whatever you say, that means a woman. So let's just say it says
no. All right. Betula does mean a virgin, but Isaiah 7:14 doesn't contain that word. That would be really amazing if it said, because it doesn't say will conceive. It says V'hine alma hora. She's already pregnant. But if it said Hine habesula hora, that would be mind blowing. I'm conceding this point. It just doesn't say that. That's the key point. I'm not trying to be pedantic. I just know. Go ahead.
I know, but for argument's sake, let's just say it's Alma. Okay, it's Alma. Okay, it means a woman that's had 20 different lovers, but she has a kid. Okay, so I'd care less if she's a virgin, has 500 lovers, 15 lovers, as long as she's a woman, and she has a kid, and she names him Emmanuel. That fulfilled the prophecy. But now, for some reason, Tovia can't connect this dot over here from what I see going on, and I'm not sure why. You're going to have to understand. You're going to have to hit me with that, because I met Gabriel from Jerusalem yesterday, all right? And he was telling me the same story about this, and I'm like, how can you be confused on this? Okay, so I'm like, okay, so when Mary has a son, okay, right in the beginning of the New Testament, and names him Emmanuel, and tells everybody.
Could you please cite your source for that? Where Mary once And I'll go with you. I'm just trying to follow you. Please give me one verse anywhere in the Christian Bible where Mary calls Jesus Emmanuel. I'd like to know where it is. Give me once. Because I can give you where she calls him Jesus. In fact, she's instructed to call him Jesus. And why he's going to be called him. I encourage you to read the Annunciation. Wait, give me a moment. I didn't interrupt you. Read the Annunciation in Luke chapter 1. It doesn't say she's calling Mary, just the opposite. It says Jesus. So please cite one passage where Mary calls Jesus Emmanuel, ever. You said it. Another thing, these are fantastic claims which require at least mediocre evidence, which none of your claims contain even any evidence at all. Mary never called Jesus Emmanuel, unless you could supply a verse where she does.
Okay. So you're going to lie to everybody, and you're going to tell them that she called him Jesus when there's no J's even in Hebrew. So you're going to lie to everybody and tell them that she named him Jesus when there's no J's in Hebrew. You're going to do that?
No, I'm not going to do that.
Are you going to do that?
Is this your?
Are you going to do that? Are you going to lie to them? Are you going to keep lying to people? And
what language is, relax, what language is the Christian Bible written in?
All I want to know is if the person that you call JC, which obviously she didn't say, because obviously there is a big long verse that says, Mary's saying, I just fulfilled 7:14 by naming him not JC, because I don't think that was his name, because there's no J's in Hebrew, Tovia. You know that, so keep telling your audience that, but they know that too. So his name definitely wasn't JC. We know that, for sure. And if you keep saying that, then we know that you're lying to everybody.
You might do that, but it's not a good idea. And thank you for your question. You know, as it turns out, I'd encourage you to look at Luke chapter 1, verse 31. This is where we find the Annunciation, and Jesus' birth is foretold to Mary. And very clearly, it says there, and you will call his name Jesus, in every translation. Now, of course, they're translating into English from Greek. And if his name originally was Yehoshua, Yeshua, that's all possible, of course. But obviously, you used the term JC, interestingly. You used it, not me. I didn't tell you to use it. And you also told me there's no J. I don't become picayune and go, why do you say JC and not YC? Or YH, Yeshua HaMashiach. I don't do that, because these are not serious arguments. They're non sequiturs. They're silly. So in the Christian Bible, Mary never calls Jesus Emmanuel. Never, not once. You use the word JC. I didn't. You did. I did. I didn't become pedantic and go, there's no J. I think you could be more sophisticated about this. I really do. I think there are many Christians that are asking serious questions and that require an answer. I think there are Christians that are making valuable points and they deserve responses. But I think that the manner in which you're arguing, I think could be built up a little bit. I think you can dial it up a little bit. And I think, frankly, I'm not trying to give a missionary, instruction, but I think you could dial up your approach, be a little less sophomoric about it, be a little bit more sober about your approach. And incidentally, as it turns out, you may or may not be aware of this, but Matthew knew about this problem. Whoever wrote the first gospel, it wasn't Matthew, but whoever wrote it, we don't know who wrote it, he very much anticipated the problem that Mary never called Jesus Emmanuel. And I can prove it to you. And I'm not trying to pick on you. I know this is like a big, big deal. Like there's an election coming up in a few days from now, right? And half the country, I'm talking about the United States, thinks the other half is crazy. Okay. I recognize this is a highly charged issue, both the upcoming elections the United States is going to split down the middle, right? And the people who are voting for the vice president think that people who are going to vote for Trump are nuts. And the people voting for Trump just can't believe that they would ever vote for Harris. And it's not like the others, there's almost no undecided. We all know this. So I understand this is a highly charged issue, but unlike you, and I'm not trying to pick on you, but you provide zero evidence. And it's worse. The evidence that you put forward is scandalous. To say that the word Alma means a virgin, that word means a virgin, is scandalous. It's a lie. It's not true. It's not a mistake. It's a lie. And I could tell from speaking to you that you don't speak any biblical Hebrew, that you weren't sure about. I'm not trying to pick on you, God forbid, but why would you engage in a topic that you're not thoroughly familiar with, especially your eternity is at stake? If the core tenets of the church are wrong, if Jesus or Yeshua is not the Messiah and you worship him, it's idolatry. You'll destroy your neshama. Conversely, if Christianity is the true religion and you turn your back on it, so then you're going to go to hell. There's so much at stake, and you would engage in such, I don't even know what words to use, such fatuous reason. I don't mean to be insulted, I'm not trying, but it really is like, it doesn't really make sense. Now, I just going to add this because it is germane. Isaiah 7:14 says, "L'chei nitin Hashem hu lechem os." Lord himself is going to give you a sign. Hine ho alma hara, behold, the young woman is pregnant. That's in the past tense, so let's call it a perfect tense to be more precise. V'yeledes bein, and she will bear a son, so she's already pregnant. She's pregnant 2,700 years ago, not 2,000 years ago. And then v'karas, this is the key, v'karat, v'karas, it's just v'karas Shema Emmanuel. What does v'karas mean? And she, third person singular, she will call his name Emmanuel. She. It dafka says she. It dafka is referring to the woman, the mother. Okay. Now, why is this important? Because Matthew was very aware of this monumental problem. Mary never is said to call Jesus Emmanuel. Look carefully, and I beg you, even if you like me, don't like me so much. For a moment, I like being liked. I'm not crazy. But for a moment is important. Please, if you have a browser or a Bible open, please go to Matthew 1:23, and you'll see openly, explicitly, that Matthew had to corrupt this text also in order to dodge this problem. Carefully, look at Matthew 1:23. Matthew 1:23 does it say she will call his name Emmanuel? No. He changes the pronoun to a third person plural, they will call his name Emmanuel, thus dodging this existential problem. How do you change it? This is not, I'm not being picky-yoon. The author of the first gospel understood this corruption and very deliberately changed the pronoun from she, because she doesn't, as I've said to you, see Luke 1:31. And my specialty is not teaching missionaries how to be better missionaries. I think a wiser thing for you to do is, instead of saying, his name is not G, there's no J, and then say J. These are not, I would encourage you to be more sober in your approach to these things and to say, actually, this is a valid point. Or say, you know what, I'm going to think about it and let me move on to something else. But to just simply engage in sort of an ad hominem that I'm a liar, why do that? It's a fallacy to say I'm the worst person. And missionaries do this all the time. You do not have a monopoly on this. Every day, Tovia is the worst person in the world. Fine. That doesn't make Jesus the Messiah, right? This is an ad hominem fallacy. it displays the weakest form of argumentation. You're insulting the listeners. So, look, I'm the worst person in the world. That doesn't mean that Christianity is true. As it turns out, the Christian Bible was originally written in Greek. It was not written in Hebrew. Someone asked, no, the evidence for it, I'll be glad to provide it. But it was originally a Greek document, not a Hebrew. Did someone later on write a Hebrew Matthew? Yes, much later. Much later. Okay. So therefore, Matthew even understood this problem, and Matthew corrupted the text. Again, compare Isaiah 7:14 to Matthew 1:23, and you'll see that it says in Isaiah 7:14, she will call his name Emmanuel, and in Matthew 1:23, it says, and they will call his name Emmanuel. Now, once you say they, we have no idea who these people are. What is Matthew doing? He's showing up to a crime scene with bleach and a rag, and he's wiping down all the fingerprints. That's what he's doing. So citing Isaiah 7:14 is advertising that the religion that you subscribe to is one that not only is mistaken, but is completely a corruption. It's sophistry. That's all. It has the credibility of Joseph Smith and the Book of Mormon. Thank you for your thoughtful question. If you enjoyed this program, please like and subscribe.
אדון עולם אשר מלך בטרם כל יציר נברא לעת נעשה בחפצו כל